Hello, my name is Connie Phillips, and this presentation is about the issues affecting higher education and academics in Israel. The presentation is being produced for Education 6450 during the summer 2015 term. So let's get started with some facts of Israel. The State of Israel is a country in Western Asia on the southeastern edge of the Mediterranean Sea. The country is about the size of the state of New Jersey with a population of 8.9 million people, and it's the home to immigrants from more than 70 countries. And although it's geographically located in Africa-Asia continent, it's considered to be a European country, and it has a parliamentary democratic system in which the party who has the greatest representation in the legislature forms the government. And currently its leader is the prime minister, and in this case it's Benjamin Netanyahu, and he's a member of the Knesset and the chairman of the Likud party. Israel's religion system is set up of three major faiths within the country, and that's Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. And tourists from these and other religions frequently visit Israel. In fact, it's a major money builder for Israel. They bring in a lot of revenue. In Israel's education system, the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Sport supervises the education system, and the primary language in the schools are Hebrew for the Jewish schools and Arabic in the Arab schools. And higher education is supervised by its Council of Higher Education, and the council has the power to recognize institutions of higher ed in Israel and to grant authority to award degrees. However, they operate similar to the accrediting bodies in the United States, but they're not an actual accrediting organization. Israel's finance ministry plans to cut its base budget by reducing supplemental expenditures by about $70 million from higher education's budget for this fiscal year. And overall, the reduction to the education's ministry is estimated to be about 720 million shekels. Now, in 2013 and in 2014, there were additional cuts to the budget, and university presidents, students, and staff are protesting these slashes in the budgets because it does affect them drastically. The university presidents have been directed to provide a 5-year plan, but they believe that this is going to be hard for them to do since they're cutting their budgets again, and they've got to be able to make ends meet. Now, another issue that's had major traction in the news is that there have been various agencies that have joined forces to boycott Israel's academics and their institutions due to a perceived discrimination and oppression against the Palestinians. And so this is going to be our focus for the rest of this broadcast. Well, since 2004, various organizations, including the Palestinian Campaign for Academics and Cultural Boycott of Israel, along with the BDS, the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Movement, have been calling for pressure against institutions and academics in Israel in hopes that scholars would rise up against the Israeli government because they feel like that Israel is being discriminatory and oppressive toward the Palestinians, the students, as well as the faculty. Now, there have been some Israeli professors who do support this effort, but then there are also those who oppose the boycotts because they believe it to be counterproductive. So looking at the reforms that are taking place to kind of resolve this issue, In my research, what I found was that there have been some top universities and colleges, along with agencies, that have condemned the boycotts. In fact, the American Council on Education and the Anti-Defamation League both have condemned the boycotts, saying that they violate standards of academic freedom and non-discrimination as upheld by the institutions of higher ed, and they call it a systematic discrimination. So what are the lessons that we've learned? Well, first of all, we know that academic freedom is a right and it shouldn't be used as a pawn in political maneuvers. We also know that academic boycotts are being used to attempt to make changes in politics and social activities. However, the violence continues in Israel and Palestinian territories, where there have been bombings of the Israeli campus buildings, and the Palestinian universities have been blockaded by Israeli troops. So these academic boycotts have not been effective. We also know that Israel has been the targeted place for these types of boycotts. This is the only country that's ever been boycotted in this matter. There's some questions that need to be answered and addressed, and then it seems that these types of boycotts have been counterproductive, or they have limited effects. So these are just some of the things that I think that are good takeaways from this information. So what are some of the implications for American education? Well, we all know that academic freedom is a treasured right, and that's an international topic. And then there's also the fact that the U.S. could be targeted for these types of campaigns in the future. If it's found that academic boycotting is something that can be used as a pawn in politics and national and international matters, it could be that American education could be the target of something like this the next time. Well, this concludes my case study on Israel and higher education, and it was very interesting for me to read up on this information. I'm going to be interested to see if future attempts will continue and if they're going to be successful. I'd also like to have some questions answered about these types of boycotts. Are they justified? And if they're not productive but rather counterproductive, why do people continue to try to do these things? And then, if Israel is the only country that's ever been targeted for this type of a boycott, is this really about the oppression of the Palestinians and the problems that they're having over there, or is this more about hatred and anti-Semitism? I'm not sure what the answer is, but these are the kinds of things I think that we need to be cognizant of and think about. Well, my time is up, and special thanks to the various universities and agency websites that allowed me to use their information, their logos, and in the following slides there are a listing of my references. I thank you for your time, and I hope that you found this to be interesting.